Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Right now, there's someone on your mind. You didn't plan it, you didn't invite it, but they're there, again. And here's the part that unsettles you. What if I told you this isn't one-sided? What if the reason you can't shake them is because in some quiet, invisible way, they can't shake you either? Before we go deeper, take 1 second. Subscribe to the channel and like this video. Not for me, but for you. Because what you're about to understand might change how you see every connection in your life. I want you to be honest with yourself. This isn't just a random thought passing through your mind. This is persistent. It shows up when you're distracted, when you're busy, even when you're trying to move on. That kind of mental pull doesn't happen without a reason. The human brain is not wasteful. It doesn't hold on to someone intensely without some kind of emotional loop being active. Now listen carefully. Attraction is not always loud. Sometimes it's silent, subtle, almost invisible. Two people can be connected psychologically without constant communication. There are emotional imprints we leave on each other through conversations, eye contact, energy, even moments that felt small at the time but meant more than you realized. When someone enters your thoughts repeatedly, especially without effort, it often means there was an unfinished emotional exchange. Something unspoken, something unresolved, and the mind hates unfinished stories. But here's where it gets deeper and a little uncomfortable. Your brain doesn't just replay memories, it responds to emotional signals. If you're thinking about them strongly, there's a high chance that at some level they are also revisiting you in their mind. Not necessarily in the same way, not with the same intensity, but enough to keep that connection alive. You might doubt this. You might think, no, it's just me. But that's what most people tell themselves when they don't understand emotional reciprocity. The truth is, human connection isn't always logical. It's energetic, it's psychological, and sometimes it's mutual in ways you can't see. So the real question isn't just why you're thinking about them. The real question is, why now? You see, timing is never random when it comes to the mind. You didn't think about them like this a week ago, maybe not even yesterday. But now, something shifted. And when something shifts inside you without a clear external trigger, it usually means something internal or emotional has been activated. Let me explain this in a way most people never hear. Your brain is constantly scanning for emotional relevance. It filters thousands of thoughts every day, but it only holds on to the ones that carry weight, unfinished conversations, unresolved feelings, moments that created impact. So when one person keeps resurfacing, it's not because you're weak, it's because your mind has marked them as significant. Now here's the part most men overlook. Significance is rarely one-sided. Think about your last real interaction with this person. Not just what was said, but what was felt. Was there tension, curiosity, a moment where things almost went somewhere deeper, but didn't? That almost is powerful. In psychology, we call it emotional incompletion, and it lingers far longer than closure ever does. That's why people who never fully happened stay in your mind longer than people who did, because your brain is still trying to finish what never got a proper ending. And here's where it connects back to them. When two people share an emotionally charged moment, whether it's attraction, vulnerability, or even confusion, it creates a shared imprint. You both walk away, but neither of you leaves empty. A part of that moment stays active in both minds, even if life continues on the surface. So while you're sitting there wondering why they suddenly crossed your mind again, it's very possible that something triggered them too. Maybe they saw something that reminded them of you. Maybe they felt a similar emotional gap. Or maybe they tried to ignore it just like you did. But suppression doesn't erase connection. It delays it. And delayed emotions have a way of resurfacing when you least expect them. This is why late-night thoughts feel heavier, why certain songs hit differently, why random moments suddenly feel connected to someone you haven't even spoken to recently. It's not coincidence. It's the mind trying to process something that never fully settled. And if you're feeling it this strongly right now, chances are you're not the only one carrying it. But here's where you need to be careful. Because not every thought means destiny. and not every connection means you're meant to act on it. What you're feeling right now is real, but real doesn't always mean reciprocal in the way you hope. This is where emotional intelligence separates strong men from reactive ones. Your mind is powerful. It can recreate emotions so vividly that they feel like signals from the outside, when in reality, they're being generated from within. Memory, desire, curiosity, these can blend together and create the illusion of connection even when there's distance. So you have to ask yourself something uncomfortable. Are you thinking about them because of what actually happened, or because of what you imagined could have happened? There's a difference, and that difference determines whether this is a shared psychological loop or a one-sided emotional investment. Now listen closely, because this is where most men lose control. When someone stays on your mind, your instinct is to reach out, to break the silence, to get clarity. But acting too quickly, without understanding the deeper reason behind your thoughts, can push you into a position of need instead of strength. And people can feel that. Energy isn't mystical, it's behavioral. It shows in how you text, how you speak, how you show up. If you act from uncertainty, it leaks through. And instead of strengthening the connection, it weakens your position. So before you do anything, pause. Observe the pattern. Is this person consistently in your mind, or just appearing in emotional spikes? Do you miss them? Or do you miss how they made you feel? Are you drawn to them, or to the idea of them? Because sometimes what feels like they're thinking about me too is actually your mind holding on to a moment that gave you meaning in a way your current life isn't. And that's not weakness, that's information. It tells you something is missing, something is unresolved, or something mattered more than you admitted. But don't confuse emotional intensity with mutual intention, because the strongest position you can ever have is understanding your own mind before assuming someone else's. Now let's address the part you've been waiting for, the possibility that this isn't just in your head. Because sometimes, when two people have had a real psychological imprint on each other, there are subtle signs that suggest the connection didn't fully end, it simply went quiet. You might notice unusual moments, random triggers that feel too specific to ignore, a sudden urge to check their profile without a clear reason, dreams that feel emotionally vivid, or even situations where their name, image, or something related to them appears unexpectedly in your environment. These moments don't prove destiny, but they do indicate that your mind has not fully detached from the emotional pathway connected to that person. And here's the key insight. The brain works through associative memory. When one person is strongly linked to a feeling, comfort, attraction, curiosity, validation, anything that resembles that feeling can reactivate the memory of them. Now here's where it gets interesting. If you are experiencing these reactivations, it's often because the emotional file related to that person is still open in your mind. And when your brain revisits something repeatedly, it's not just remembering, it's evaluating. At the same time, it's very possible that the other person experienced a similar emotional imprint. Humans don't forget meaningful interactions as easily as they pretend to, especially if the interaction contained tension, attraction, or unfinished emotional energy. That doesn't mean they are sitting there thinking about you all day, but it does mean that at certain moments, quiet ones, reflective ones, or emotionally vulnerable ones, you could cross their mind just as they cross yours. And if both of you are revisiting the same emotional memory at different times, it creates the feeling of a loop that never fully closes. However, here's the grounded truth you must hold on to. The presence of mutual thought does not guarantee mutual intention. Thinking about someone and choosing someone are two completely different psychological processes. One is passive, the other is active, and only action reveals reality. So while it's possible there is a shared emotional imprint between you and this person, what matters more is how you choose to interpret it and whether you use that awareness to gain clarity or lose control. Because understanding this dynamic should make you calmer, not more anxious. And that distinction will define whether you move forward with strength or stay stuck in speculation. So now let's bring everything back to you, because this was never just about them. It's about what their presence in your mind is revealing about your current emotional state, your patterns, and your readiness for something real. When someone occupies your thoughts repeatedly, it's often a reflection of three things: unresolved emotion, unfulfilled curiosity, or meaningful impact. Your mind doesn't cling to people randomly, it clings to experiences that mattered enough to leave a mark. But here's the turning point most men miss. Instead of asking, "Are they thinking about me?" the more powerful question is, "Why am I still mentally attached to this person?" Because if you don't understand that, you'll keep projecting meaning outward instead of taking control inward. You cannot build a strong connection with someone new if your emotional energy is still tied to someone from your past or someone unresolved. Your attention is a resource, and wherever your attention goes consistently, your emotional investment follows. Now, if you're hoping this person is thinking about you too, understand this clearly. Healthy connections are not built on guessing games. They are built on clarity, communication, and mutual effort. If there was something real between you, it would naturally move toward expression, not remain hidden in mental loops. So rather than chasing signs, focus on signals you can control: your behavior, your discipline, your ability to detach when needed. Because detachment doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you stop depending on uncertainty. And here's a truth that may challenge you, but will also strengthen you. The moment you stop obsessing over whether they are thinking about you is often the moment your mind becomes clear enough to either reconnect with reality or finally let go. If they are meant to be in your life, it will be obvious through consistent action, not mental speculation. And if they are not, your peace will return the moment you release the loop. So take a breath, ground yourself, and ask, is this connection growing in reality or only in your thoughts? Because your life won't change based on who thinks about you. It will change based on what you choose to do next.